Basically, I'm going to be talking about my company, Hariharan School of Success Education, HSSE, and I've titled this little talk as My Life and Our Company. I don't call it my company anymore, and actually, I don't call it a company. Actually, I call it more of a platform. And in November, Hariharan School of Success Education, HSSE in short, and it's popularly referred to by my team and many others who are associated with me, and all the learners who are part of this growing community of learners, they all call it as HSSE. So it's going to complete 11 years in the month of November. And as I reflect back on my life as an entrepreneur, in my journey as an entrepreneur, it's been an incredible journey. I mean, it's been extremely invigorating. It's been extremely scintillating. It's been an adventure. I mean, if you ask me, what's the one thing, how would you like to define your journey? I would say it's been an adventure, really an adventure, because there were so many learnings, such an evolution. And I look back at my life when I took this decision, when I plunged into entrepreneurship, almost like I just put myself into the swimming pool. And I just somewhere had the confidence I will swim through. But frankly and very honestly, I had no idea, no idea about the challenges, no idea about the sharks in that pool, and what is really going to happen. But I've been very, very lucky, very fortunate. God has been kind that I'm still there in that journey, and I'm still trying to do some good work. And it's been an incredible journey, I can tell you, because it's a great evolution. You've got to understand that the purpose behind my doing this little chat with all of you is also that there are many people like me, very ordinary people who come from middle class backgrounds, who have no grounding in entrepreneurship. They have been always taught to earn money through the salary mode. They have always been taught to be loyal employees. They're mentally, emotionally trained to work for other people. Now, to take a plunge and to say that I'm going to be a first generation entrepreneur and I'm going to try and do something all by myself and I'm just going to jump into it, it requires incredible amount of courage, and if I might say, an incredible amount of foolishness and madness. And there are times in the entrepreneurial journey, especially when you come from a background like mine, born into a typical middle class family, brought up with values of middle class values, brought up with ideas of a secure job, a salary, building your life in a certain way, in a secure way, in a set way. And suddenly this one guy in the family just decides, no, I'm going to be different. I'm going to do something really different. And he takes the plunge. And then, the rest, I won't say it's history because it's all happening right now. And it's a beautiful journey. It's a great journey. When I look back at 2009, I got a promotion that was my last promotion that I took in my corporate career, and I was promoted as a zones sales training head. When I got the promotion letter, early part of 2009, I was quite happy with the promotion, of course. I was to lead a team of 120 people. My corporate career was going in a certain direction. And the next steps would have been national heads and, things with national head, and things would have moved on from there. But when I took the promotion letter, somewhere I knew that this is not going to last for very long, because I'd made up my mind somewhere that I want to take the plunge now. I've always been a free-spirited guy. Even when I was working for different organizations, even when I was a journalist, I started my career as a journalist, then I moved into training, worked for a couple of organizations. I always had worked with a great sense of ownership. So, and I always excelled and performed my best when I was given the freedom to do what I wanted to do. I had creativity, I had a lot of ideas, I wanted to do something, I was restless. But I realized that within the corridors of your employment, there are certain limitations within which you have to work. Now, I'm not saying those limitations are good or bad, but all I'm saying is you got to make a choice whether those limitations work for you or if they don't work for you. Somewhere I temperamentally figured out that I'll be much better off, I'll be more happy if I had the freedom and the space. And there was no other option in that sense to become an entrepreneur. So at the peak of recession in 2009, I took the plunge and I decided that I'm going to just see what happens. So it's hardly a few months into my new role and I took the plunge. Many people are surprised as to why would such a promising corporate career be given up especially when I'd reached a certain level and after so many years of hard work. And to restart the journey and reinvent yourself was an extremely excruciating process, which I did not know when I took the plunge, because I was very happy in the first few months that there was no boss, nobody was doing con calls with me, I didn't have to report to anyone. I was very happy with my sense of freedom. Till about 6 months into the freedom, I realized the cash is draining out, it's not coming in, and I have not really made any great plans. So in November, I instituted Hariharan School of Success Education, HSSE, in 2009. And then I really started to look at this whole thing very, very seriously. And then it's been a process. It's been step by step. Obviously, a freelancer's journey is one of the most challenging journeys because you're alone. And you learn sales. And I was a sales trainer, so I used to train advisors in an insurance company. So the same things that I taught them, I started doing it for myself. Prospecting, closing the sale, negotiating the rates, looking for references, the same stuff. I started doing it for myself. And a freelancer's life is a very lonely life because you do everything. You don't have an office, so you work from home. And yeah, I want to tell you something. I'm an expert in working from home. I've done it for 11 years, guys. For 11 years, I've worked from home. Many people are experiencing it right now in the last 6 months, but I worked 11 years from home. And, and very often I felt, I should also have an office, I should invest in a team, and I did all that. I burnt my fingers, I made big mistakes along the way. And I thought, at the end of the day, it's not about how big an office you have or how many people are there who work with you, how much salary you're giving. I think it's about the value that you create, and it does not matter from where you create that value. You sit at home and create the value, or you take an office and create a value. I'm not saying don't take an office or don't have employees. If it works for you, great, why not? But I had to discover my own journey, and as I made some of those moves and made some of those mistakes, I started to realize that you need to work differently. I mean, you just can't compare yourself with other kinds of entrepreneurs. And you got to forget, and I think there's a great lesson here. You got to forget that you held a corporate position. Nobody bothers about your corporate position. Trust me, as an entrepreneur. They only look at what's the value that you're creating today. It's like cricket. Nobody remembers the last innings that you played. It's all about today. Are you performing today? And those have been some great learnings in my life. And as I started to, move in that journey, I conducted so many different kinds of programs. And many people also asked me, you don't seem very focused. What's your focus? I mean, what's your specialization? What are you good at? And I said, for me, it's a discovery. I'm not really specializing in any one thing. I'm just a people's trainer. Wherever I can add some value in terms of their behavior, personality, skills, I'm up for it. Because my vision was always to build an empire of learning, where it was like a mall, where you came in and you picked up the kind of learning product that worked for you. And because in that sense I was not focused, I was very focused in what I wanted to do, but not in the traditional sense of the term focus, specialization, one product, genius, an expert. I never looked at it that way. I said, let me enjoy this journey. Entrepreneurship has always been more like a spiritual process for me. It's the freedom of life that I wanted to experience. I said, you want to do something, do that. You want to write. You want to do Reiki, do Reiki. Because I'm a Reiki grandmaster also. You want to write books, start writing books. I'm an author of 7 books in these last 11 years. It's an incredible thing. And I could not write even a single blog properly before when I was in employment. Maybe I just wanted that mental freedom to write and express myself. So one of the great learnings that I got was, it's your own unique journey. Entrepreneurship is not just about profit, loss, balance sheets. It's about discovering yourself through the journey. And because I was not focused in that sense, today I have a basket of about 50 to 60 products, learning products. And there is a wide variety of products. There is a diversity. There are various price points. And many of them are so innovative. They are so creative. And today, that lack of focus, I'm putting in inverted commas, that lack of focus has actually helped me create what I've created. Now, what happens is, today I am in a better position to serve various kinds of learners who are looking for various kinds of products with various price points and various value points. So it's a journey that we have created. And in this journey, I can tell you that for a large part of this journey, it was all about me, my programs, my face, my content, my delivery. But in the last year or so, things have changed. Because the vision was always never to work alone. The only thing I missed about my job was the team. I missed my team members. I could not be with them. That is something I always had in my heart, that I must build my team again. I must create like-hearted people. I don't believe in like-minded people, friends, because mind changes. But when the heart connects, you come together. So today there is a team. There is a team that is associated not for the money that they make. Obviously, they want to make some money out of this association. Even I want to make. But more for the joy and the enjoyment of the association. And for the opportunity to learn. I'm very, very blessed to have a team of associates who do their stuff, and they also are associated with HSSC. So it's wonderful to have, and so many innovations they bring in also. They give a lot of ideas. We are creating innovation every day. We are building associates. We are giving an entrepreneurial career opportunity for people who are not able to, set up their own platform. So we have created that platform now. So that's why it is no longer just my company. It's everybody's company. It's every participant's company, every learner's company. It's a platform. It's a platform for trainers to come and experience the learning and also to express themselves through certain processes that we have defined. It's a wonderful opportunity for people who want to become entrepreneurs. So we have created a career path for them. It's a wonderful opportunity for people to set up their own business within the organization so they can run it like a unit. So we have a wonderful associate model. And we also have a digital academy now. We also have an e-learning platform. So there's an opportunity for trainers to go digital. There's an opportunity for learners and organizations to avail of our learning management system or our LMS. And there also we have come up with some very interesting products, very defining products, very different kinds of products. So in this 11-year journey, I have become a very different person. So when I look back at my own personality, say what it was in 2009, and when I compare myself to what I am today, I think I'm a very different guy. And I've tasted some wonderful successes and some horrible failures along the way, and some very trying moments and some absolute moments of joy. It's been a completely mixed package. And through this whole journey, I have learned a lot. I studied a lot in terms of my own reading, writing, blogging, in the lockdown, I've attended a lot of LinkedIn learning courses. I've taken a lot of LinkedIn learning courses. So it's been a great process of evolution. And I've come across some absolutely fantastic people, and I think that is most important. Some fantastic mentors along the way who taught me about entrepreneurship. I made some great friends. Some of them are working with me now, they're associates. And I learned a lot from other trainers. And I can tell you that it's been a beautiful journey. And even through the challenges, I fell in love so much with the journey. I said, no, boss, you got to make it happen. You got to make it count. So every day in the morning, I get up and I say, what is that I can do to make HSSC a better platform for people to come and experience? And the whole idea is to give something of value to society. I also went through this mindset of how much money can I make, how can I grow my business by, so much percent, so much X, what is the profit. I went through all those thought process, and then I realized it's just not something that's going to work for me. What will work for me is always the spiritual perspective of business. It's the compassion that you bring in, and we have to leave the world one day. So before we leave this world one day, what is that we are going to leave? What is that we are going to leave for the world? Before we leave this world one day, what is that we are going to leave for the world? And I hope HSSC will be that platform which will leave something for this world when I leave this world. And it will be taken over by like-hearted people who will run it forward and keep growing the organization, keep growing the platform so that people benefit from it. So that's the whole purpose, to make a difference. So in HSSC we say we are mad because we want to make a difference. And it's this, and I can tell you that this attitude is also evolved. As I said, I went through those money-mindedness in terms of business, and then I was able to kind of steer around and say that that's not something which comes very naturally to me. Money has to be made, of course. But if you do a good job, money will anyway come. Because I heard one speaker say that money is not everything, but everything is money. So whatever you do, you will be able to make money in that. If you add value to people's lives, and if you're true, honest, and you really genuinely want to make a difference to the world, a lot of money is there to be made for all of us. So I think it took me also some time to evolve out of that mindset and come out of it. Not every program that I did gave me a great feedback, and those were great learning experiences. And one of the things I want to tell all freelance trainers, whether you're new or whether you have been around for a while, one of the great challenges of being a good trainer in an entrepreneurial mode is that you're completely exposed, and you're going to get ruthless feedback. And one of the things you need to work upon is content, original content, which comes from your experience, it comes from your perspectives. And try to be innovative and read a lot. You got to read a lot. You got to attend other people's programs. You got to learn from others. And as a trainer, the greatest learning was, don't think you're a trainer, think you're a student. I love what Harsha Bhogle says about Sachin Tendulkar. That Tendulkar was a master of the game, but he always played it like the student of the game. I mean, what an inspirational quote. He was the master of the game, but he always played it like the student of the game. So some key learnings that I picked up along the way was, have a sense of purpose. Add to your content continuously. Keep reading a lot. Keep evolving as a person. Try and be innovative. Try and be creative. And create a platform for people to come together and grow together. And for some reason you're not able to create the platform. We have now created that platform for people to come together. And I've also tried to build a platform in such a way that it's the ordinary people who benefit from this. Because the whole mission of HSSC is how can we help ordinary people become extraordinary through the power of fun-based learning. And the biggest breakthrough that I got in this journey was my trademark, the Enter Trainer. Now, the Enter Trainer is a philosophy within the organization. In fact, towards the end of this month, on 26th and 27th, last year we launched the Enter Trainer certification program, a Train the Trainer, a very different kind of unique Train the Trainer program, which we launched, a trademark, because based on my trademark. We're going to do the anniversary edition now. We already have 63 Enter Trainers across the country. It was a new concept, new idea, and entrepreneurship is about taking some kind of a chance, taking some kind of a risk. It worked by God's grace, and now the whole concept is growing. From there on, we launched more innovative products. Before that, we have created a unique survey which helps organizations discover the training requirements. So as a freelancer, one of the things that I realized that you will never be able to scale up your business if you do not have relevant products, and you just can't run with one or two of your main core products. I mean, just the way I think, I may be wrong, but unless you use those products to scale up. So I said, if you really want to scale up, then you've got to have some really exciting products. And that's how we've been able to fill up the kitty now with so many wonderful different kinds of products. And of course, some very common stuff. But finally, it's not just the content. It's about how you deliver the content that makes the difference, right? So this whole scalability is now happening because of the product line, because now people have so much opportunity to play around with. I mean, they can give more options to society, to the various kinds of learners that we have in our life. And our whole mission is to help ordinary people become extraordinary through the power of fun-based learning. And the vision is to build an empire, as I told you. And an empire cannot probably be built with just one or two products. We need a wide range of products. And learning is an ocean, guys. I mean, you can learn so much about human life, human behavior. One of the great points of my life, high points, was my visit to the US in 2017, when I went to attend Ascentive's Behavior Styles workshop to get certified as a trainer. It was one of the great points of my life, and I'm very thankful to Ascentive for, and I think Ascentive personally is a wonderful organization for entrepreneurship, for learning behavior of human beings, behavior styles. It was a life-changing experience for me. And of course, the beauty of seeing America. Wow, what a country. I just spent about 8 days there, but it was a life-changing experience. And I, in fact, wrote a book after I came back, and I can share it with anyone who's interested. It's a free PDF book. It's called Hurry to Harry, the story of my visit to the United States of America. And people used to call me Harry there. Many people here also call me Harry. So, I mean, they just could not get Hariharan. So they thought Harry is a better way to call me. It was a beautiful experience. Wonderful experience. And I've learned so much from my participants. They teach you a lot. When they say nice things about you, they teach you. When they don't say nice things about you, they still teach you. And if you're an honest person, you're ready to take feedback, you can really improve as a trainer. So my learnings have product line, make them innovative, make them relevant, and most importantly, make your delivery very exciting. That's why the Entertrainer certification for us within the organization is our ethos. It's our culture. It's the way we want people to be. We are not just providing learning. We are trying to provide happiness through learning. We are trying to provide happiness through learning. And we want to create a happier society. We want people to be associated with us, and we want them to go back feeling laughing. They want them to go back feeling great. We want them to be laughing. We want to bring a smile on people's faces. If you ask me, that's really why we exist. That's really why we exist. So, there are so many things to share about my journey. But what I'll do is, I'll just condense so that there is a real good concrete takeaway for all of you. I'll just condense all this into what I call as the 5 P's that every entrepreneur must keep in mind. Whether you are a freelancer, a solopreneur who wants to become an entrepreneur, there's a difference, right? Or you could be any kind of freelancer, not just a training freelancer. You could be a content freelancer. You could be doing something else. Look to scale up. Form a team. And teams need not necessarily be formed only by hiring people. There are opportunities. There's an associate model that you can create. A channel partner model probably you can work upon. Though that's also an option. You can think on those lines. But for that, you need to develop your leadership skills. You got to be a very inspiring person. People don't connect with you see, people connect with who you are, and not just with what you have. So you need to come across as somebody who can add a lot of value to people's lives. And I think it's beautiful to work with people. It's beautiful to work in a team. It's not so beautiful to work all alone. But if it works for you to work all alone, then be very clear about it and work all alone and do your best. But create a sense of scalability, because our organization, our work always has to be bigger and greater than us. We are not very important in life. It's the work that we do which is more important in life. So we got to create something which is bigger than us. We have to create something which will last beyond us. That's what a real legacy is about. That's what a real contribution is about. That's what is the real Dena Bank all about. I always tell people, become a Dena Bank, don't become a Lena Bank. Right? So I have condensed this into 5 areas of which could give people a very compelling reason to be associated with you, either as a learner, as an associate, as a friend, maybe as a mentor, as a business associate, whatever it may be. You got to give people a compelling reason to be associated with you, and those compelling reasons come from this 5 P's. There could be another 5 P's, there could be another 10 P's, but I've just tried to condense this into these 5 P's. The first is, and you may want to make a note of this. The first is, and this is true not only for entrepreneurs, it's for every professional. Entrepreneurs also are professionals. You can be an unprofessional entrepreneur, or you can be a very professional employee. So it's very important to be a professional entrepreneur. So everything begins with your profession. And also I realized you've got to love your job. You've got to love your work the most in your life, because that is a shortcut to happiness. You get too involved with people, relationship conflicts, issues, life becomes very messy. But if you can manage your emotions and your relationships and focus on your work and be passionate about what you do, it makes a big difference to the way you live. So the first is philosophy. What's your philosophy of life? And one of the things that I learned when I was in the insurance industry, and what an industry it is, I mean, it shaped so many lives. We used to teach our advisors that always put the mission before the commission. So the word mission is part of the word commission. What's your philosophy? Is it the mission or the commission? And is your philosophy just to do everything for yourself, or to make a contribution to the world? Is it to make this world a better place to live? Is that the philosophy that you're working with? Why are you becoming an entrepreneur? Why do you go to work every day even if you're an employee? Is it just to make money? Or it is to make a contribution to people's lives? So you got to be very clear about your philosophy. And I can tell you that in my own life, it took some time for me to get the clarity on the philosophy. It took some time to get the clarity on the philosophy. And once I was able to understand that this is the philosophy I'm comfortable with. And I can tell you guys one thing, you can go for any amount of mentoring, coaching, whatever, but finally you got to discover things for yourself. And there are no set formulas in life. It's your life. We all look unique, we talk unique. So it's our own journey in life that we need to find out. Many people are looking at what can I achieve. I have another perspective here. Don't just look at what you can achieve. Look at what are you made to achieve. What is it you're made for? I remember a conversation during this lockdown with one of my friends, and he said, obviously everybody was going through the challenges in business. And he said the best businesses right now seem to be insurance, catering service, takeaway counters, so on and so forth. I said, you got to do the work that you're born for. You are not born to do everything. You're not born for certain things may look very attractive, but are you born to do that kind of work? I'm born to be a trainer. I'm born to build a training company. So let me do that. And there will be ups and downs in every business, in every activity of life, in relationships, in your jobs. But what's your philosophy? You got to crack the philosophy, and it's an inner process. You got to understand that. You can definitely go for coaching and mentoring. You can go for training. You can go for any kind of learning. But somewhere you got to answer these things to yourself. And it takes time. Sometimes it just takes time, and sometimes it takes longer than what your patience can hold. But patience is a lifelong profession. It's a power phrase, guys. Patience is a lifelong profession. You can never be impatient. Having said that, you got to have patient restlessness, and you got to be restlessly patient. Right? So get your philosophy right. Second is, define a purpose. Something which is bigger than money, bigger than your personal benefits, bigger than your fame, your status. Something which is completely in the giving mode. Something where you can make a contribution to people's lives through your work. So, when you have a great philosophy and when you have a great purpose, as I said, the purpose in HSSC is to help ordinary people become extraordinary through the power of fun-based learning. And the vision is to build an empire of learning so that more and more people can get benefited from what we do. It gives you purpose, gives you this great feeling to get up in the morning and go to work. It builds the right kind of spirit in you, the right kind of passion in you. It gives you a reason to get out of bed every day. And you know that you're doing such a great job. You're helping people. And using the right means to help people. It's such a beautiful thing. It compels people then to take note of what you're doing. It compels people to take a note of what you're doing. So when you have a great philosophy, when you have a great purpose, you are compelling people to take a note of what you're doing. And they're seeing that this guy is doing something which is so invaluable. Can I be somewhere a part of it? That's why one of the life-changing books you should definitely read is by Simon Sinek. Start with Why. It's a beautiful book which talks about why people connect to the why and not to just to the what and how. It's a highly recommended book. The third is process. You got to have a system which is seamless within the organization or even in the way you work, even as an individual. Process is nothing but a systematic way of working, a certain sense of discipline that you get into your work. And I always like to quote Albert Ian Gray, who says, the common denominator of success is successful people form the habit of doing things which failures do not like to do. And failures don't like to use process. Failures like a shortcut. It doesn't work. Short-term gain is long-term pain, and short-term pain is long-term gain. And when you use shortcut, chances are very high that you will get short-circuited. And you got to enjoy the journey, not bother so much about the destination. I say in Hindi, मैं मंजिल का नहीं रास्ते का दीवाना हूं. मैं मंजिल का नहीं रास्ते का दीवाना हूं. So be in love with the journey. That's a beautiful feeling. I mean, I just can't express. When you are in love with what you are doing, what a great romance that is. But you got to discipline yourself. You got to follow a certain process. The next is passion. You may be very process oriented, but you don't exude that energy, then it does not compel people to come towards you. You cannot pull people if you're not passionate. I'm not saying passion is talking loudly or theatrics. No, I'm not saying that. Passion shows in the way you work, the way you carry yourself, the way you conduct yourself. Now, I I have also come across a lot of people who have great passion, but they are not ready to constrict themselves within a process. Then what happens is, it's like electricity which is not getting a wire to flow through. Very dangerous, isn't it? So you may have great passion, but you also got to be process oriented. It's a balance. And passion rubs off on people. They get inspired by your passion. And it does not come just from motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes from inspiration. And inspiration comes from purpose. Motivation comes from success. So if you are successful, you will be motivated. If you are not successful, you will not be motivated. But inspiration is neither dependent on success, nor is it dependent on failure. Inspiration is based on your philosophy and your purpose. Your purpose has to be strong enough to carry you through various challenges in life. And the last element I want to talk to you about finally is persistence. It's all easy to say, yeah, I have a great mission, I have a great vision, I have a great purpose, I am so passionate. And few failures, things don't work out, they don't go the way you planned, the way you thought, and then you start feeling really low about it. And I think if you have philosophy, purpose, process, passion, but you don't have persistence, it has no meaning. But if you have persistence and all the other measures a little bit lower also, maybe. I'm sorry. But if you have persistence, and you're patient enough to discover your philosophy, your purpose, it might take a little while. And to build in that kind of passion that is required, it's fine. Are you ready to wait a little longer? So you got to build persistence. You got to manage pain. You got to undergo the pain of failure very often. And as an entrepreneur, you're a salesperson, so you fail every day. Every day you fail. I always found sales to be a very spiritual profession, frankly, because it teaches you to be very humble every day. And that's what we do in HSSC. We train our people on sales, we train them on products, and we try and handhold them as much as we can. And one of the things that I find why entrepreneurs of any kind struggle, and especially maybe freelance trainers also, they're not prepared to sell. You got to learn to sell. And there's nothing wrong, I'm telling you from my experience, to sell yourself. Yes, it's always great if you have somebody else selling you. But then, didn't we sell ourselves at the job interview? Then why not as an entrepreneur? Sell yourself. You have a great product. You have a great philosophy. You know you're doing a great job. Go and talk about it. What is selling? It's just communication. Don't have these inhibitions that somebody else should sell me all the time. I've been an 11-year-old self-salesman. And I'll continue to do that. I'm talking to you. It's part of selling myself. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It's your business. Everybody cannot afford to have a team or pay people to sell for them. So what is option left? You have to do it yourself. You really believe in what you're doing? You're there for the long haul? Do it. Learn sales. If you don't know, learn sales. There are many good sales courses available. Learn them. And again, you can do any number of courses. At the end of the day, it's how you apply them. The learning will come from the real-time experience. Knowing is nothing, doing is everything. I know how to lose weight, but if I don't practice the things that are required to lose weight, you will never lose weight. It's as simple as that. I know I have to learn continuously, but if I don't learn, it's not going to help me in any way. So persistence. And I always like to say one shairi, I find that very inspiring. आज बादलों ने फिर साजिश की, जहां मेरा घर था वही बारिश की। अगर फलक को जिद है बिजलियां गिराने की, तो हमें भी जिद है वहीं पर आशिया बनाने की। यू गॉट टू बी जिद्दी, but for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons. Somewhere you feel as an entrepreneur it's not working out for you for whatever reason, maybe you need to give it a thought. Sometimes going back in life does not mean that you're a failure or anything like that. Probably you're going to now search forward with greater vigor, or you're going to change direction. There's nothing wrong. See, whether you're in a job or you're an entrepreneur, you're going to make a difference to people's lives. So find that space. It's not about whether which is better, employment or entrepreneurship. It's about finding the right space within employment and the right space within entrepreneurship. It's a space that you need to discover. Now that space could be in the employment area, it could be in the entrepreneurship area. It's fine. You understand, it's not about being, it's the philosophy that is more important than the mechanism. Right? So I spoke to you about philosophy, purpose, process, passion and persistence. Just want to take a couple of more minutes and say that in HSSC, we are on a continuous innovation process. We have the entertainer certification. Today we concluded the third batch of the certified high impact communicator. It's a certification that we launched keeping the lockdown in mind, a very reasonably priced certification for people, because I realize people are looking for good certifications, not just good learning programs. So it's a lockdown creation given the context in which we are. We have the Entertainer Digital Learning Academy, the e-learning platform, the learning management system. I invite trainers to get in touch with us so that we could explore opportunities to collaborate. I'm going to put my email ID in the chat box, in the comment section. Feel free to write to me. I'll put my number also. You can send me a WhatsApp message. Let's get on a call. Let's understand how we can collaborate. And you can do whatever you're doing, but you can also do something together with us. That's the whole idea. And that's the whole purpose in terms of why I thought I'll go live with you all today. And I hope I've been able to add some value. Tomorrow is a great day because we are launching the Entertainer Motivational Learning Series, which is our next product line innovation. And all of you can receive the first course for free. We're going to release the first course. It's on success for free. And so await tomorrow around the same time, around 7 o'clock, I will be releasing the first course from the Entertainer Motivational Learning Series. And after that, we will come up with a mechanism for offering other kinds of small digital courses so that you are able to learn some interesting stuff and value-added stuff in a short period of time. They are typically 30 to 60 minutes kind of courses. So it's wonderful talking to all of you, and I really thank all of you for being there with me today. It was just an inspirational thought I got in the morning that today I must do this live session with all of you, and I hope I have been able to add some value to your life, and it will be wonderful to hear from you in the comment section in terms of what is the value that you found out of this little session that I did for all of you, this little communication that I had with all of you. And I look forward to like-hearted people getting connected, and probably we can together make a big difference to this world in our own small ways. And the last thing I want to say is, don't worry about it's not about small or big. Keep doing good small things every day, and don't bother about how big it becomes. Just keep doing those small bits of differences every day. Make your little contributions every day, and that would be and that itself would be a wonderful way to give a purpose to our existence and to our life. So ladies and gentlemen, God bless you, and I thank you very much for being with me on this little session today, little communication today. And please do take good care of yourself. And till we meet again, please do take care. God bless you, and thank you very much.